Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Stuck in devastating conditions with no help, these animals manage to survive all the odds. Look at this one with a swollen face, a lump of coal, and a dog that was all skin and bones. Let's see what happened after the owners and animal rescuers saw these dogs suffering at the hands of their lives. Dog with scars. Bambi was an abandoned dog with lesions on the top of her head. Her scars looked like she faced a traumatic past, as those lesions still bleed sometimes. The vets decided to do surgery over her head to get the dog rid of the scars. Bambi went through a long and complicated surgery in which the vets used laser treatment to remove the lesions from the head. Bambi is truly a warrior for enduring the painful treatment with patience. However, her head is still scarred with so many stitches, but they will be fine pretty soon. Skin and bones. This dog was all skin and bones when he was first found. It looked like he had been abandoned for a long time. You can see how sick he looks while walking, and even his rib cage was showing. He was undernourished, dehydrated, and had some mental issues. He didn't seem to get better at all. He stopped walking, and his health was deteriorating with every passing day. But it looked like he wanted to get better. He had a strong will. In a few days, he started walking as the treatment and care was finally showing results. He looked like a living skeleton, but transformed into a fluffy and healthy dog. Looks like all he needed was the care and some love. This dog needed a new face. This dog was found in this hole with his face all eaten up by the ugly maggots. With his nose and eyes all gone, he had lost all the hope of life. It's painfully uncomfortable seeing him in this condition. He was in such a poor state that the rescuers started considering giving him euthanasia. But what changed their mind was the spirit he showed. It looked like he wanted to live. They started his treatment by removing the maggots that had made a home inside him. On his third day of being rescued, he finally started eating. And in even less than a week, his left eye started to appear. In 3 months, he was all healthy and looked pretty good. Defeated horse. This poor horse was found in a miserable condition. He was so weak that he wasn't able to stand on his own for even a second. His bone and rib cage were protruding out, and it looked like he had given up on his life. The rescuers used a tractor for him to be able to stand on his feet, which gave hope to his foster family that he will be fine, as it is very hard for the horses to stand on their own legs if they have been lying down for that long. With small exercises and a good dietary regimen, he was able to stand even without any help after 7 days. And after a month, he was running through the fields, all happy and healthy. A wounded calf. This poor calf was found with a severe neck wound. The wound was so deep that the maggots had entered deep into the wound. He looked so much in pain, but he let the rescue team treat his wound. The first thing that needed to be done was to remove the maggots that were making his wound even worse. So the rescue team got started on that. After treating the wound, they put a bandage on it to help it healing. The rescue team managed to reunite the calf with his mother, which helped him get better in no time. Pumpkinhead dog. This dog with a pumpkin-sized head was found on a street in Houston. The rescue team found him and took him to the hospital. He looked hopeless from the pain he was enduring. He had been through a lot. Apart from the big head, he also had a deep cut in his neck because his owner wrapped a shoestring around his head as a neck collar. They even found 26 bullet shrapnels in his leg. That is too much for a 10-month-old dog, isn't it? But it was his courage and strength that he survived all of it. He stayed at the hospital for a whole month, and luckily with time, he started looking better and recovered successfully. Puppy with deformed legs. This helpless little dog is Dash. It was heartbreaking seeing him stranded because of his deformed legs. The dog had a pretty limpy gait. Moreover, he looked extremely depressed and sad all the time. But thankfully, there are compassionate people in this world. Dash was rescued and was taken into care. Now, look at him swimming around in the pool, all healthy and happy. He doesn't even look like that stranded puppy with deformed legs anymore for how beautifully he has transformed. Now, this is what you call a miraculous transformation. Pony with overgrown hooves. Now, take a look at this little pony, Stella. She looks healthy and all, but look at her hooves. They were a source of pain for her. The rescue team was called because her caretakers were unable to help her. It looked like her hair also hadn't been brushed in a while. But the most worrisome part was her overgrown hooves, which were not even letting her walk properly as they were poking her legs and causing her pain. Thankfully, the rescue team trimmed her overly grown hooves, and finally, she was able to walk normally. Cat with a growing lump. This old man adopted a cat he found on the street. More like she willingly started following him around. But what made the man concerned was the lump that was hampering the cat from walking comfortably as it kept on growing bigger. Upon consulting the vet about her condition, they found it was a hernia that was growing in the cat's abdomen. They immediately did surgery to remove it. Even though it was really painful, the cat's courage and the will to live made her recover in no time. Blind cat. This poor cat was found screaming for help. Her eyes were filled with pus, and she was in a pitiful condition. It's hard to even look at her. But luckily, she got help and was taken to the vet, where they run her x-ray and cleaned her body and face, which was filled with dirt and ants. After constant care for 7 months, she was not skinny and disheveled anymore. Look, she looks like a different cat now for how healthy she is. Dog with dysmorphic face. Now, let's get to Squish. His face looked like this when people found him. Upon consulting a vet about his condition, they found that his face was dysmorphic because of the fractured skull that made everyone think he won't be able to survive. But one of the vets knew he just needed some extra care and love, so she took him home. Squish went through treatment along with training and care, and in no time he was able to eat with his dysmorphic jaw. And look how happy he is now! He is still getting better each day and has a spirit to live. Paralyzed dog. Next up is Avelina. Why is she being carried like that? A cruel hunter abandoned her because she was no help to him anymore. Avelina's whole body got paralyzed except for her head, which was the only part of her body she could move. The physiotherapist made her do multiple exercises to make her body active again. It did look like she wanted to walk again. Look at her trying to walk. She is indeed a courageous dog. Look at her now, walking on her own without any support. Truly amazing! Baby goat covered in tar. Now, the most miserable animal case I have ever seen. This lump of a goat was rescued when she was all covered in tar with her skin hardened by it. She looked like she is made of cement. Now, imagine what she must be feeling. It's heartbreaking to even look. She was given a bath in oil to soften the tar from her body in order to save her life. Her limbs were all stuck together from the sticky tar. After bathing her thoroughly, she was given liquefied food and medicines, and thankfully, in a few hours, she was able to stand up on her legs. But to get fully recovered and clean from tar, it took some days. Thank God she is in a safe place now. Now look at this puppy in almost the same situation. He was found screaming in this filthy place for help. He didn't look like a puppy, but a dark something for how disheveled he looked. This poor boy was stuck on a stone covered in tar. He was taken to a hospital and given the pain medicines first. And then the vets massaged him with cooking oil for hours in order to get him separated from the stone slab. He was finally back to normal after a fresh bath. Woo!
And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day.
Meet Mixi, a dog that was suffering from a huge abdominal tumor. Look how it hangs below his body, hampering him from walking properly. The dog looks extremely uncomfortable, and it's difficult for him to even stand with such an enormous body weight. People used to be repelled by his overgrowth, but thankfully for Mixi, a kind-hearted soul found him and decided to help the poor animal. The owner couldn't afford the treatment, so she stepped in. After the vets took him in, his condition improved and the surgery went successful. And look at him now, all happy and healthy, wiggling his tail and ready to get out of the cage. See you next time.